calling this one How to Run Your Agency While Being a Present Mom. Because let's be real, motherhood totally changes the way that you will run your business. And honestly, motherhood is a whole stage of entrepreneurship in and of itself, because you absolutely shift who you are at your being, your core, when you become a mom. It changes the way that you look at work. It changes the way that you look at life and the way that you divide your time between your family and business. All of a sudden you have a baby or a child that is the absolute priority in your life, as that should be. And so because I made that shift from law, for anyone who might just have stumbled here and never heard my backstory, I was an attorney and practiced for 4 years, and then decided that I wanted to pursue another path because I wanted to have the kind of work-life integration that I was seeking, right? Like I wanted to have work that lit me up and made me really excited, but didn't detract from my ultimate goal of being a present and checked-in parent. And so I made that switch. And because it has been such a fantastic, so many ways that having my own business has supported my life and allowed me to be the kind of mom that I always wanted to be able to be there for my kids, to support them through whatever challenges they have, notice things that maybe they were struggling with so that we could intervene and support them, not in a helicopter mom sort of way, but in like a true developmental delay sort of way where intervention is necessary. But the fact that having my own business allowed me to do that made me so grateful that I made that decision 20 years ago. 20 years ago, my God, that's so crazy. That now I want to show other women that they can be engaged moms, high-powered business women, agency owners, if that's your path. If you're, looking to just have a career and be a mom, you're in the right place too. We support that. But I believe that we can have it all. Absolutely. If you want a career and you want to be a mom, I believe we can have it all. I don't believe we can do it all. And there's a difference, right? We can definitely have it all, but I'm the first one to say that I do not do it all. I have lots and lots of help. I have a lot of support. I have no problem asking for help. One of my biggest, secrets, everyone's like, how do you do it all? And the answer is like, I don't, right? I prioritize the things that I like and I outsource the things that I don't. So, it does take some major mindset shifts to get there, but it is worth it. And, especially if you're used to doing everything yourself, it is going to be challenging because now, let's say you're a new mom, you are stepping into this role that you've never done before. They always say kids don't come with handbooks, but they do. There's lots of parenting books, but when you are sleep deprived and you have a new stage of development with your kid, who has the time to sit and read a parenting book, right? So you kind of are learning this new role for yourself. And maybe you are an established business owner and now you're stepping into this role of motherhood. It's all different stages. But the amazing thing that I've seen, I saw it with myself, and I see it with so many women in this community, is that we step into this role and we own it. And we do what it takes. And we just grow as the role requires us to grow. And we figure things out. So I'm going to give you 7 of my best tips for balancing the different stages of entrepreneurship with motherhood as you and your business grows and your kids grow. But I just want to give the blanket statement that, yes, we can have it all. No, we cannot do it all. And whatever comes your way, I am confident because I have seen it so many times. I've seen it in myself and I've seen it in so many women that are my friends and members of my community. You will figure it out. You will figure out what is needed for you at that moment what your kid needs in that moment, what your business needs in that moment of growth, of struggle, of getting to the next stage. So yes, take a deep breath. We got this. You can always come to this community. We've got your back. So my kids are 14 and 12, my two boys. And a lot of these things kind of evolved over time. But the first thing I will say is that you must, as a new mom, this is just the way it is. If you're running a business, you have to take advantage of nap times and maybe when you're pumping. So when your baby is in that little newborn stage or an infant stage, nap time is your best friend. I know people always said to me, when the baby naps, you should nap. And in theory, that sounded great, but running a business, I didn't really take time off. I didn't really have a maternity leave. I just kind of maintained status quo, right? Kept my clients happy, just tried to maintain status quo. And so when my first son was sleeping, and he was a great little sleeper, luckily, don't think I'm bragging because my second son screamed his head off nonstop. We're talking 20 hours a day for almost 11 straight months. Screamed his head off. So I did not have that luxury with my second son. If it were my first son, I don't know that I would have had a second son. But when my first son napped, then I used those tiny little pockets of time throughout my day to get things done. You know, whether that was agency work for my clients, FaceTime, just kind of checking in with the team, or even just kind of moving through the house and tidying up, you know, just so it felt like not everything was falling apart. You know, you get really efficient during nap times. And once your baby settles into a routine, you find a groove with your work schedule and they'll start sleeping through the night. That is amazing. You will feel like a new person. You will feel absolutely unstoppable. That usually happens around 3-4 months. Some babies are really easy. Some you have to sleep train. That's a decision. That's a parent decision. But when you do that, it's really hard, but it's the best thing you can do for yourself and for your baby at that stage, is getting them to sleep through the night so you can get rested and refreshed and feel like a person. And when you have a full night's sleep, you will feel unstoppable. And if you are also a nursing mom, a breastfeeding mom, then pumping is a real lifesaver during that stage, because you will, like, breast milk equals freedom, like frozen breast milk equals freedom. So you want to pump as much as you can while your supply is really high. I know the dudes that are listening, there aren't a lot, but there are some. They're probably like, what am I listening to this for? But it is so essential, because having frozen breast milk means more flexibility later on. I know that sounds kind of like very specific, but if you're thinking about it and you want to be a breastfeeding mom, take advantage of when your supply is really high and store milk in the freezer, especially if you don't want to formula feed. Do whatever you want. Of course, I have your baby, your decisions, all of that. I'm just saying, if you happen to be a breastfeeding mommy, then freeze your milk. Let your partner feed the baby. Let the grandparents feed the baby. Let a friend come and hold the baby and feed your baby while you get some work done or take a shower or whatever. I can't even tell you how good it feels when you're a new mom to just take a shower and dry your hair and maybe put on mascara. You just feel like $1,000,000. So if you're listening and you have a friend who has a new baby, offer to come and hold the baby while your friend gets to take a shower or gets to take a nap or whatever they decide. They will love you forever. But you want to keep the supply high, freeze that breast milk so that you can go away for a day to work or to a conference, or, things come up and you don't want to be absolutely tethered to the baby to nurse when the baby needs to eat. I keep saying the baby. I don't know. Your child, my children, but they're not babies anymore. They'll always be my baby. But the other thing too is get a hands-free pump. That is an absolute game changer, because you can kind of do everything. I would walk around the house while I was pumping. I was on client calls. I could kind of do anything just with a hands-free pump. So that means either something you wear in your bra or you use those regular ones and you get like a really kind of weird bra with like holes in it for the flanges and you look like a cow, but it works, right? And then you can kind of move around and get things done. So that will allow you to multitask. Just at this early stage, you want to use nap time as your friend to get things done and pump extra milk, freeze it, and you're golden. Number 2, lean on your team. And if you're not fully staffed up or even have just one person that can support you, even if it's an hourly person or a VA, you have to get that set up before you go and have maternity leave. You never know when the baby's going to come, or if you want to take a little bit of time off, you need to lean on your team more during these kind of early stages of motherhood. So you might think that you're able to juggle it all, but there are so many unexpected things and surprises that will come up that makes it essential to rely on other people. So you want to have your team handling that day-to-day, the communication with clients, executing, pitches, sending things out on behalf of clients so that things are still running seamlessly and you can take that step back and have the mental peace of mind knowing things are handled. And you only want to jump in where it's absolutely necessary or where you want to kind of still be connected. You might also need a longer maternity leave than what you originally planned, and that's okay. It's like you don't know how you're going to feel, and you don't know the way it's going to ultimately kind of settle in for you and your business and your life. And maybe you want more time, and that's totally okay. You might feel like your baby still needs you physically there. So you want to get your team in place, somebody there where clients know that things are getting handled, and trust that your agency will still be there when you return, and release that feeling of perfectionism, like you have to be the one to do everything, or that guilt maybe that you're focused on family and you feel guilty that your first baby, let's say your business, is kind of you're not fully handling everything yourself like you're used to. So you want to have that clear vision for your business and your team executing on those things that you absolutely have to have done. And that will make it easier for you to delegate and then take a step back when needed, because motherhood brings a lot of unexpected things, like a colicky baby. I don't wish that on anyone, but if you know, you know. I used to think a colicky baby was like a baby that cried a lot. No, it is a screaming, inconsolable 20 plus hours of hysteria. Unbearable, and you feel like a complete zombie wandering through molasses. That's like how it feels. It's really, really hard. So if you are expecting to have a baby that naps and sleeps great and you get a colicky baby, things are going to be different than what you expect. So like another thing is just expect the unexpected and roll with it, because this is just an important time in your life where you have to kind of release control, relinquish control of everything, because you can't be in control of everything. Another tip, number 3, is focus on just kind of maintaining your business. So during that newborn stage with both of my sons, my goal was just to keep my business running, keep my current clients happy, keep them in the door. We weren't taking on new clients or projects. And with my second son, again, with the colic, I did not have the energy for anything extra. My focus was on family. I had a baby, a newborn, and another toddler under the age of 2. And so I gave myself permission to just be in that survival mode. And that's part of why I created the Agency Accelerator, is because I want moms to know that they can build a business that will sustain their business and them during those tough times, so they don't feel pressured to keep growing when their focus is on family. Because you can always go back to the process the 4 pillars: strategy, sales, service, and scale. In my agency accelerator, you focus on that strategy pillar again, and then go back to the proven sales tactics. And when you're ready, you can bring new business in the door, and you can focus on the service piece of it with your team while you're taking time to be with your family, and know that when you serve your clients really well, you treat them well, they'll stay in the door, and you can have that consistent, predictable, recurring retainer revenue, and know that when you're ready, your business is there. New business opportunities will be there for you. And you don't have to feel that pressure to always be growing, always be scaling. Like, why? Let your business be there to serve you. Build your business in a way that will serve you in this way, so you can take a step back from that and focus on family when it's needed. And the other piece of that is the guilt piece, right? Like, we always have guilt. When you're with your kids, you feel guilty you're not focused on the business. And when you're working, you feel really bad that you're not giving your kids your full attention. Or maybe you're with your children physically, but you're mentally not present with them. And it's very guilt-inducing. And my number 4 tip is we have to let go of that mom guilt. Throughout all stages of motherhood, there's often guilt around being happy at work, or looking forward to when your kids go to school so you can focus on your business. Guilty, it's hard. Weekends are hard, honestly. I'd rather be working full time during my days, because the weekends are really hard to be with the kids when they don't want to do what it is that we're doing. They don't want to go where we're going. They don't want to eat where we want to eat. There's always somebody. It's really rare when both of them are just happy. So it's hard, it's draining, to constantly be kind of focusing on these other people and their needs and wants and desires that are not always totally rational. Work is like predictable for me and rational, and it's kind of like me time, and I love it. So it's not, hard, and I don't feel guilty about saying that. Maybe a little guilty. But they're they're like teenagers, so they're not all about mom and dad right now anyway. But when your kids go to school, you can focus on your business, and maybe you'll feel a little guilty about that. Don't put that added guilt on yourself, because I've had friends in the past from like mom groups that'll say, I can't believe these women who just always talk about wanting their kids to be asleep or go to school. I just love every moment with them. It's so precious. It's like, I don't find that to be super relatable or like realistic in my world. That's just not how things are in my family. I think we all thrive when we all have a little bit of time alone from each other. And I don't let that make me feel guilty, because mom guilt, it's real, but it's not productive. Being a mom is just one part of who you are. And there is nothing wrong with enjoying work or craving some time for yourself. If you've never heard a mom, like a real mom, actually say that, because maybe it's taboo, I don't get it. Like, I have no problem saying it. I'm here to give you permission to say that, to feel that way, and not feel bad about it. Work to me, and I just said it, and it's in my notes now, it says work can even feel like me time some days. It does for me, honestly. Just, it's like, it's like I'm still connected. I'm checking with clients. I'm doing something useful. Let me caveat and say, full-time stay-at-home moms, that to me is the most challenging job. They are so impressive to me. I personally don't know that I could do it. I think that is harder than what we do, having your own business, because to me that feels like time to myself, time to be mentally stimulated in a different way. So if you are a full-time mom and people say stay-at-home mom, that to me is extremely hard work, extremely challenging. Oh my God, I would fall over and just pass out every single day after being a full-time mom and just completely underappreciated in our society. But I'm bowing down to you because I couldn't do it. And it's definitely harder than what we do. That's all I'm going to say. 100%. So you also want to make sure that you schedule time that could be just solo time outside of work for self-care. We throw the word self-care around a lot, and it doesn't just mean a long hot shower. Maybe that is what it looks like for you, because in the shower, you can decompress and you can really let go of the tension and whatever. But self-care could be having therapy once a week and talking to somebody so that you can I think of it almost like a pressure cooker or like your Instapot. And when it's fully done cooking and all the pressure's built up inside, you can just release a little bit of the pressure at a time with the valve, and then it becomes safe to open the Instapot, right? That's what we need as moms, is some way to release that tension and pressure with self-care. And it might be challenging to speak to a partner or your friends who might not understand what you're experiencing as a business owner. And it could help to connect with a therapist and also come into our community, because there's so many working moms. There's so many women that are experiencing what you're experiencing. And it might feel very comforting to have someone that relates to you and that you can relate to as well. So that's what me time can look like for you. It could also be going on a walk, listening to music, listening to your favorite podcast, Pitching Powerhouse, or it could be meditating, yoga. We've been doing the cold plunge in the morning. It's 3 minutes, and it just feels completely transformative because you're controlling your breath, you're controlling your thoughts, and you are being very present in the moment. Maybe it's 3 minutes. It's really hard, especially as the weather's getting colder. I am not doing it every day. My husband is, and he feels great. When I do it, I love it too. But that's what self-care can look like. Whatever it is that lets you feel like you are kind of releasing the pressure on that Instapot, opening the valve a little bit, letting some of that pressure out, and whatever that is for you. For me, it's talking to a therapist. It is spending time with my friends, but I can't do that unless I make those things happen for myself. My husband wants me to go and have time with my friends, but he's not going to say, hey, you should go with your friends tonight. I have to say, I have plans with my friends, and he'll say, awesome, I got you. And we even had that going when our babies were babies. No, not just right now. It's life-changing, but my boys can be home alone now. I can only imagine how life-changing it's going to be when they can drive soon. It's going to be scary as can be, but it is going to be another stage that just gets a little bit easier. And, drive themselves or drive each other to school, which would be amazing. And on that note, the other tip I have for you is that their school day is your work day. So when your kids start school, this is like a whole new stage in motherhood and entrepreneurship, because their school days become your focused time, your set time that you have the next 6 to 7 hours to work. And I was amazed with myself at how much I was able to accomplish in that set time frame, because you have that dedicated time, you're super focused, and every minute counts. And it's not that it's stressful or that it's hectic. What happens is you prioritize the work that you truly love and the work that's important, that's a priority for you, the work that moves the needle, because you don't have time to waste. It's fun to scroll the internet looking for, window shopping at your favorite website, but that's not the best use of your limited amount of time. And so you start to prioritize the things that are the most essential when you are working with those set limited hours. And that allows you to be really efficient and focused on the tasks that matter. So I have found that my friends that are moms and other women in my community that are moms are some of the most efficient, effective people I have ever met because they know what's important. They know what matters. They know what is the best use of their time. And they, really focus on that when they have that ability. So school hours, that's why it's so hard when my kids have half days, because not only is my workday cut off, but I'm usually having to leave and then go get them, which also cuts it off a little earlier. Why do they do that when there's just getting back to school and then there's all of these half days and all of these days off, teacher, working day, what do they call it? Like staff development days. Love teachers. Teachers are amazing. Also underappreciated and certainly underpaid. But do those days during the summer or do them after school or something. I don't know. It's so hard. But you will be so efficient, you will not even recognize yourself. You get so much done and you're just like, bam, I did all that. And the other thing too, number 6 I have for you is your passion for your agency will return. I know that when you become a mom and you have these little, beautiful, adorable, needy little people that are suddenly the number one priority, that your passion for your work kind of fades. And I'm here to say you are not alone. It's totally normal. And it is probably to be expected. So if that happens for you, you're like, I'm the most driven and I want to make $1 million a year profit and I'm on track for that. And then you have a little baby and you're like, oh my God, this person is my whole world. Work what? Agency who? No, this is what I'm all about now. That is totally normal. But you could feel guilty about that. And you could say, oh my God, I've lost my edge or what happened to me. I promise you, as the kids get older, everything gets easier and you will feel that drive and that excitement for your business come back to you. It'll return to you. And what I have found is that motherhood will actually deepen your sense of purpose and give you fresh clarity around your vision because you'll have a greater drive to reach your goals because your family is in the back of your mind and they're inspiring you. And honestly, I want to be inspiring to them. I want my kids, now that they're old enough to know what I'm up to see that I'm contributing to this family, that I was brave enough to leave a really challenging career in law in order to start this business, and that I have the flexibility and freedom to do that. And I'm so grateful for that. So I want them to see. And also, it's really important for men, boys that are going to become men to see strong women that are earners, that are supporting the family, and, that are entrepreneurs, because I think that that's important for them to know as they grow into men that women and men are equals. I think women are better sometimes, honestly, but don't tell my boys I said that. But this renewed passion is something that you can look forward to as your children go and you can reinvest more energy back into your business. And like I said, every stage of development is a new stage of your entrepreneurial journey, and it'll become easier for you to get back to more focus on the business when your kids need a bit less of you. And number 7, give yourself grace. This goes for any stage of motherhood and entrepreneurship, but you need to give yourself that grace, that whatever needs your attention at that time, that's okay. So if something comes up with your family and you have to step back from work, then your family comes first in that moment, that's okay. And there's going to be moments when you're juggling your mom mode and your agency owner mode and something slips. Something will slip through the cracks. Something won't get done. A paper won't be turned in. A form won't be filed. An email won't be responded to. A call won't be returned. A text won't be answered. It is okay. Do not be too hard on yourself. It happens to the best of us. And I've made mistakes too, like sending an email to the wrong person because I was distracted and trying to be quick and panicked a little bit. And then I apologized and I moved on and it was fine. It's not a big deal. We all make mistakes. And when you're doing so many things, it's really hard to be on top of everything. And I will say you have to get comfortable with the idea of not performing at the level that you used to for some period of time, and maybe forever after you have kids. That's okay too. The women I know are so driven, they're so capable and motivated that they have a little bit of edge that they can lose, and they're still incredibly effective, honestly. And it's almost like their, 80% effort is better than most people's 100% all-in effort. So if you are finding yourself losing that edge, losing your sharpness, oh my God, the mom brain is real. I don't know why. Maybe it's the sleeplessness. I don't know. But it is absolutely real. You'll think, oh, that's not going to be me, or that's not real. It is 100% real. It is scientifically proven and studied. And yes, it is real. And when it happens to you, you're like, how do I not remember the name of that thing that I talk about every day? You feel crazy, but give yourself grace. And that means allowing yourself to focus on family when you need to, and trusting that your business will be there when you're ready, when your passion returns, when your excitement returns. And you'll be so grateful that you created the kind of business that allowed you to step into your role as a mom and be there, be present, and checked into your kids through all of their stages, and still allowed you to earn a living, to support your family, to give you an outlet. Like I said, work gives me a great sense of purpose, just like motherhood does. And I'm so grateful for my agency. And balancing motherhood and entrepreneurship isn't always easy, but these little shifts can help you create a business that supports both your family and your ambitions. And you don't have to do it alone, because we're here for you. I've created this supportive community of PR pros, agency owners, many of whom are navigating the journey of balancing business and family, just like you are, who've maybe been through what you've been through. And they are there to be a listening ear, to support you, to connect, share insights, get encouragement, just be a sounding board. And it has been immensely helpful for me and other women in the community, the Powerhouse Pros community. It's free on Facebook. If you're not already a member, come join us there. And if you really want some structure and some help around the things you're trying to accomplish, then we have support and programs for that as well. But this is just for me to tell you that you've got this. And whatever we can do to support you, we're here for you. We've been there. If you need to take a step back from your business, nothing's wrong with you. And if you kind of need a little break from the kids every now and then, totally normal too. Promise you, we all have felt that way. But just check out the Powerhouse Pros Facebook group. It's a totally free group. We'll let you in. You'll see what everybody is chatting about, and you'll find your people. It's like the most warm, friendly community, little corner of the internet for PR professionals. And just so grateful that you're here. And if we can help you grow and scale your business, or grow your business so that you can step aside and the machine is working, even though you're not physically pulling all the levers every day, that's what the Agency Accelerator is for. So let us know what you thought of this episode. Hit me up on DM, or better yet, leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast, and I will see you next week. Take care. Go kick ass this week, because I'm going to kick ass too.